You sold how many companies of your own companies? How many did you sell?
I've sold two, one to a public company and one to a private equity.
One to private equity. And then you said, enough of building companies, I'm going to start helping other people sell.
It wasn't my plan. I had two terrible experiences in selling my companies. In both cases, I left money on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And after serving many other business owners, I realized that this was common, but it was almost never talked about. Who wants to talk about an experience where you could have done so much better?
Yeah.
Who wants to talk about an experience where you feel a lot of guilt because you know your family received less than what they could have? Who wants to think about the situations where your favorite charities are getting smaller checks because you didn't know more, you weren't more prepared, because
Mm-hmm.
you made in many cases, a inferior decision on, who was helping you to sell the business. And so the more I looked at the data, the more stories I heard, the more I ultimately said, this is my second career. I could go build another company and sell it, and that would be meaningful and impactful, and it will make a difference in the lives of my employees and my customers and my family. But how many more families, how many more employees, how many more customers can I serve if I go and help hundreds of business owners through their transition process?
And so you made that decision on that.
Yeah, I realized that I didn't want to do business with any of the advisors that I had worked with in the past. And after realizing that that was the norm for other business owners, I realized someone needs to create a better mousetrap. I ended up finding one of the leading M&A teams in the country to partner with,
Mm-hmm.
and ultimately learn from and continue to deliver the quality that they have been for 10 years.
And that shift intersected with, and then you're a very intentional spiritual guy. Did that shift occur at the same time? Was there, or have you always been that way?
Well, I didn't.
Was your head in the trenches and you were just,
I wouldn't say I was always legacy minded
yeah.
or service oriented.
What changed?
I grew up in Silicon Valley, so I was living a conventional life, right, for a long time. I went to high school, did pretty well academically in sports. I worked a fair amount, so I had a lot of money for an 18-year-old graduating high school. I went to college and was doing all the things that college students do until the dot-com boom picked up momentum.
Yeah.
And so I started my first company as a sophomore in college and just thought, all these people are becoming millionaires seemingly overnight. Why not me? Right?
Yeah.
Now, up till that point, I was a pretty hedonistic person, pleasure seeking, security seeking. I didn't have those words as an 18-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But whatever was the most fun and whatever would position you with the most resources is really how I spent my time. Well, when I was a freshman in college, I realized that while I was happy, I wasn't deeply fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, I enjoyed life, but there was something sort of aching in my soul for that represented deeper meaning to me. I wasn't a spiritual or religious person, but there was a Bible that my uncle gave my family on a shelf in my college dorm room. I'm not sure what prompted me to bring it in the first place, because I wasn't a Bible reading person and didn't grow up in a family that was religious in any way, shape, or form. But I started reading it, and what I noticed is that the people I was reading about, they actually weren't religious either.
Mm-hmm.
They had a profound, deep connection to the transcendent. It was relational, it was conversational.
Mm-hmm.
After they prayed, things actually happened. There were even miracles in their lives. And they had a passion that they were ready to die for.
Yep.
It was foreign to me. I didn't know anyone who experienced life that way.